left open-mouthed by tonight's episode. Shocking events to come at 9. We'll be heading to Washington for more on today's election results in half an hour. But first on BBC One, has anyone got the time?
At the third stroke,
it will be
time for the One Show precisely.
And welcome to The One Show with Matt Baker.
And Alex Jones. So yes, coming up later, we're going to be finding out which one of these three One Show viewers is about to become the brand new voice of the speaking clock. What an honour.
Oh, so exciting. But first, the subject everyone, of course, is talking about, the American election. Now, at 7:30 this morning, it was announced that Donald Trump will become the 45th president of the United States.
So what a great day for tonight's guest to stop by. Now, he is a seasoned foreign correspondent who has helped us make sense of huge global news events for the last 50 years.
It's BBC World Affairs editor John Simpson.
Isn't it, John? A nicer reception than I usually get.
Well, of course.
Well, I tell you what, John, I mean, this is perfect. We couldn't have timed this interview better. But are you like us? Because on the sly, we are flagging slightly. We're a bit tired, having been at most of the night.
Yes.
Yeah, were you in that camp?
No, because, you know, you stay up really, really late and nothing happens hour after hour after hour. Actually, it all happens at the end. So I rolled out of bed at about 5 o'clock. And made myself a cup of tea, tried to open my eyes.
So who was the last name that you said before you went to sleep then? Who did you think it was?
I would have thought it was going to be Hillary.
Did you?
It really was. But then I thought it was going to be Remain rather than Leave and Brexit. So, you know, I can't remember a time when the pollsters have got it all so wrong, and when people like me have got it so wrong.
I mean, yeah. But, I mean, the campaign itself was ruthless, wasn't it?
And it was dreadful.
His first speech as president-elect was actually very gracious, and he talked about, you know, coming together, uniting, and he was actually gracious to Hillary Clinton as well. So do you think that his critics got him wrong? I mean, which Trump do you believe, the campaigning one or that seemingly presidential one?
I think, and this is based on the experiences of people that know him, apart from anything else, I think that the nasty Trump that we saw was nastier than he really is. I think it was much more extreme than he really is.
Yeah.
But I have to say, you know, a speech like that, yeah, it was fine, but it was written for him by somebody, and he knew what he had to say. You plug into the slot that's been arranged for you. So I don't think we should take too much notice of the nice Trump any more than we should be too over-frightened by the idea of the kind of Trump that we saw in the campaign. But you have to remember everything he said during the campaign was made to get votes. Yeah. And so and he didn't think he was going to be able to do it. So he was more extreme than he would normally perhaps have been. Yeah. So I just think we don't know anything about Donald Trump at the moment because we've been given these completely different views of him, but not necessarily the real.
Well, Hillary Clinton herself said be open-minded.
Well, she did. Yeah. And we touched on it, you know, Brexit happened in June, now this morning, and Donald Trump is very much talking about it as a movement as opposed to a campaign. Can you predict any more political landslides? I mean, how is this going to impact on us here?
Well, I mean, I think it'll actually make the Leave people feel more justified than ever. Because, you know, he's their friend. He followed the line, and I think actually this is the beginning of a quite a revolution. You know, it's 27 years, I think, since almost to the day. I think it was yesterday when the day when the Berlin Wall came down. I was there. Seems like only yesterday to me. And that ushered in a quarter of a century of extraordinary change. And now I think this is new. I think we'll see effects of it in France. I think we'll see it in Germany. I think we'll see it in the Netherlands. And, you know, where we go, well, I don't know. I probably won't even be around to see it.
Oh, you will, John. You've done 50 years. What's another 50?
Another 50 years.
Yes.
Well, John, we're looking forward to talking about your new book, all about being a foreign correspondent, a little bit later on. But first, we're going to turn our attention to tomorrow night, where I will be in the beautiful surroundings of Jedburgh Abbey with Team Rickshaw as we prepare to set off on this epic 474-mile journey in aid of BBC Children in Need. And if you recognise that route and you live along it, don't be shy, come out and see us.
Definitely in support. Now, we've still got one more rickshaw rider to meet, and she is really going to bring so much to the team, isn't she?
Absolutely.
Here's Ebony.
It's really bumpy. Hi, my name is Ebony Robinson. I'm 18 and I'm looking forward to doing the rickshaw challenge.
Are you feeling confident about the rickshaw challenge, Ebs?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm pumped for it. I'm up for a challenge. I'm not one to give up on my dad.
You're not, sweetheart, no.
We're a happy family. I've got 2 brothers, mum and dad, obviously, and a dog. My dad and mum sat down and were like, "You're going on the rickshaw," and I'm like, "What?" And I cried with excitement. I love the outside. I love nature. I just love feeling the fresh air go through my hair and everything.
When she was a baby, she was the same as any other child, really. But she was constantly had a cold. She was always ill, and she was just a little bit behind everything. She's got ataxia telangiectasia. It's a rare genetic disorder. There's no cure. There's nothing we can do for her.
By the age of 10, I was wheelchair bound for most things.
Mentally, she's a normal 18-year-old. Physically, her body is ageing at an increasing speed. The life expectancy is mid-20s, so every day is very special.
I go to the gym 4 times a week. Even though it's hard work, I just remember what I'm training for.
How's it going?
Good.
Fantastic. Are you excited about the rickshaw challenge? It's amazing.
We came across the AT Society. We spoke to Kay, and she's been our lifeline ever since, really.
I am the Family Support Manager for the AT Society. We get involved with families from diagnosis right through to bereavement, sadly. I can remember her when she was first diagnosed as a little 3-4-year-old girl running around. And Ebony can remember that, of course. That's very difficult.
Whoa, whoa, mamma mia.
She is just bonkers. She's got a wicked sense of humour. She'll be the one doing the karaoke on the bus, and she can't sing, but don't tell her that.
I know what I'm doing it for, and it might help other people.
Children in Need have given us money for a project that we do, and that is our family weekends. And families just find it so reassuring. AT is such an isolating condition. They're watching their child deteriorate before their eyes. And actually getting together with other families makes such a difference to these children's lives.
She is my princess. She is my life. She does us so proud every day.
I'm strong and fighter. I've got a good life ahead for me, and I can put up a fight.
Now, Ebony and her teammates, along with Matt, are heading out on the road tomorrow to do this incredible thing. And we all know how cold as well it's got in the last few days. This is your chance to show your donate. your support. Yes, donate.
Yes, please do. And if you would like to, you can donate £5 by texting the word team to 70405.
Yes, or to donate £10, just text the word team to 70410.
And now those texts will cost your donation plus your standard network message charge, and all of your donation will go to BBC Children in Need. You must be 16 or over, and please do ask for the bill payer's permission.
For more information and full terms and conditions, please go to bbc.co.uk/Pudsey, where you can also donate online if you want to give a different amount. The lines are open now, so please pick up your phone and start texting.
And if you already have, then thank you very much indeed. Now, John, you've been all over the world. You've travelled to the country's most dangerous places. You've done 150 interviews.
Pretty dangerous here in the BBC.
Well, this is the point. This is where we're going, because actually in your first week, you had quite an altercation.
Oh, yeah, you're right. No, you are absolutely right. I got thumped by the Prime Minister. Well, yeah, I was sent to ask him, this 1970, different world, Harold Wilson, going to call an election, only he hadn't announced it. He was at Euston Station, platform 7. I could take you right to the very spot where it happened. And I stepped forward, my radio microphone in my hand. Excuse me, Prime Minister, I wonder if you're going to call an election. Except I didn't get as far as that. I got to, excuse me, pry, and he went berserk. And he thumped me in the stomach with one hand. He tried to grab the microphone. He said, "You know I never do these things." He said, "I'll put in a complaint against you to the Director General directly I get to my destination." And I couldn't breathe, actually, because I don't think he was all that fantastic as a Prime Minister, but he had a good old
But he was a good boxer.
Yeah. And, I looked at my watch. It was 10 to 11 on my first day out as a reporter, and I'd been physically assaulted by the Prime Minister, and I'd lost my job. Except that he obviously decided not to call. So I sat there very nervously for hour after hour until I realised actually the call wasn't going to come.
Oh, well, that story isn't in the book, but plenty of others are. We chose to speak of war and strife, and it's your stories alongside foreign correspondents that go back 400 years. Now, what qualities do you as individuals share? What makes a fantastic foreign correspondent?
I think when you look at them all, and I mean, of course, I didn't look at everybody, but I looked at friends of mine, I looked at people I know, I looked at the people I'd read about. I think it's mostly a kind of militant curiosity. You're absolutely determined to know what's happening.
What's going on, yeah.
You know, I had a wonderful friend, Charles Wheeler, great BBC correspondent, died at the age of 88, he still had, opinions, attitudes, thoughts about what was happening. He never kind of drew a line underneath it and said, "OK, that's it, I've finished," know. And I think that's how the great foreign correspondents are.
And what do you do then when you arrive in a country then? Do you have a process? I mean, what have you been, when we see you on the telly, what have you been doing in the hours previous?
Usually, I mean, the thing is that one of the advantages of doing this job for 50 years is that the very few places I go to that I haven't been to before and haven't got friends in, I don't know somebody. And so I tend to kind of get in contact, here, send them an email, a text, sometimes pick up the phone to talk to them. Not always, of course, a good idea in some places. And just to get an idea of how things have changed since I was here last, what's really happening. I know the headlines, but what's the atmosphere like? And that's a kind of thing that I think probably a lot of people like me, that question, what's the atmos like now? Yeah. I can hear myself saying it again and again and again to people.
And the job, it goes hand in hand with danger. I mean, you've gotten stuck going into countries and lots of different things. But actually, it was kedgeree, a dodgy kedgeree that nearly was the end of you.
Well, I worked it out, actually, while I was lying in hospital. I've come very close to death, really close to death, 9 times. from bullets and bombs and stuff like that within touching distance. But the kedgeree did nearly do for me, and it kind of worked in with some medicine I'd been taking for blood pressure stuff.
Right.
And I've been taking this for a long time, and apparently this had built up in me. I played cricket the day after I ate the kedgeree, so standing out in the field, you know, being bored out of my skull all day long, got really dehydrated, and it was a kind of perfect storm, and my kidneys gave out. Two of the doctors, I think, went home that night and said, well, he's a goner, you know. And
well, you're a picture of health now, John.
Well, I feel jolly
We're glad
healthy,
to say.
yes, yeah.
No more kedgeree for you. Right.
No, I've had some since.
Well,
just to
brave.
make the
Now that
point.
is brave.
John's book, We Chose to Speak of War and Strife, is out in the shops now.
Now, talk about anticipation last night. The excitement here in the studio is quite palpable because one of these three finalists is about to take over as the UK's most punctual voice.
It is the speaking clock, of course, and here's Joe.
The speaking clock has been keeping us on time for 80 years.
At the third stroke, the time will be 8, 32 and 20 seconds.
And earlier this year, we offered One Show viewers the chance to become the new voice.
We asked you to record the test script from the very first speaking clock from 1936, and you didn't hold back.
Today, it's decision time, and it's not going to be easy.
At the third stroke.
At the third stroke.
At the third stroke.
5,500 of you sent us audio recordings.
It will be 1:24
And 50 seconds.
8, 2 and 10 seconds.
At the third stroke.
It will be 3 o'clock.
Precisely.
Sara Mendes da Costa, the current voice of the speaking clock, has been listening to your entries with me. We're looking for that golden voice with good enunciation, perfect pitch and tone, and of course a voice that would sound crystal clear when heard through a telephone line. And after weeks of shortlisting, we've whittled down our entries to the final 3. 20-year-old student Kriya Barton from Bangor in County Down, 69-year-old retired civil servant and former local radio DJ Alan Steadman from Dundee, and 37-year-old business manager Verity Giles from Bridgend. They've come to the BT Tower in London to record their final auditions.
You are the final 3. Did you imagine when you entered you'd make it this far?
Never. Like, I just sent it off and kind of forgot about it. And then my mum entered as well, and she's still waiting on the phone call.
So, Alan, and how does it feel to be here?
Oh, very good, yeah, very exciting, yeah. My mother's 94 and she's pretty excited about it.
Verity.
Yes.
Why did you enter?
Because of my little girl. She would have loved to have entered the competition, but she's only 5. If I actually was lucky enough to win, then she'd be beside herself.
For their final audition piece, each of our finalists is recording a full version of the speaking clock script with sound engineers Julian and Dan.
So, when you're ready, remember where the slashes are. We need a slight pause.
Julian, this isn't as easy as people might think, is it?
Well, the idea is we have a rising intonation on the hours, so it's like 1, 2, 3, and then a falling intonation on the minutes. 4, 5, 23, like that.
You're asking for a bit, aren't you?
Getting the nuances of the speaking clock script right is harder than it looks.
Precisely. Oh, that sounded English.
But eventually, for the finalists, it's job done. After the recordings have been edited together, they're sent off to be listened to by the judging panel, just like when the first speaking clock voice was chosen 80 years ago. Joining me and Sara on the panel are Gareth Hydes from Children in Need, Rima Lawford from The One Show, and David Tae-hee from BT.
Let's do it in alphabetical order then. Let's have a chat about Alan first.
At the third stroke, the time will be 6:45, precisely.
That voice is just rich and deep and trustworthy. I could listen to him for hours. I'd have a big phone bill if I did.
I can imagine his voice really putting you at ease if you're in a rush.
Kriya.
At the third stroke, the time will be 12:51 precisely. She's got a great quirky voice.
There was a little bit of humour in her voice. I could sense a little bit of fun in her voice.
Right, let's talk about Verity then.
At the third stroke, the time will be 3:48 and 30 seconds.
Very warm and very friendly, and again, a very smiley voice. Very expressive.
She was obviously born to do voice work.
Does anyone want to listen to any again before
I
we
might
score?
have a quick listen, just
Okay,
between
you're going to
two,
dip
if
back in,
that's all
yeah.
right.
This is good, okay. After plenty of deliberation, it's finally time to commit our scores to paper. Well, I think then we've made our decision. We have a winner. Are we all agreed?
We are. We are indeed.
Oh,
Wow.
I can't stand it anymore.
Well, Kriya, Alan and Verity are here. Ironically, we don't have much time. So in one word, just tell us how you're feeling, Kriya. Let's start with you.
Fantastic.
Fantastic, good. Thrilled. Oh,
Excited.
lovely.
Brilliant. So one of you three are, is the winner. But Children in Need are also winning from this, aren't they, Joe?
Absolutely. Now, BT, who obviously run the Speaking Clock,
Yeah.
kindly agreed to donate 10 pence to every Speaking Clock phone call during the competition, and that was up to a maximum of £50,000. But I'm pleased to announce we have hit that target. That is £50,000 for Children in Need.
Tremendous.
£50,000?
Tremendous.
Yeah.
That is wonderful.
fantastic. Fred's very pleased.
Yeah. Oh, very. I can't wait to pass on the news. But no,
So we're gonna find
seriously,
out
any
now.
second now, it's going to change to one of you three. All right. Best of luck. Best of luck.
Here we go. So let's listen in. We're going to hear the old voice, Sarah Mendes da Costa, and I'll switch over to the brand new voice live as it happens.
Yeah, just a word of warning, there is a tiny delay by the time this show reaches your television, OK? It's only a few seconds, but don't go setting your own clocks by this one. Here we go.
7:23 precisely.
Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be?
At the third stroke, the time from BT will be 7:23 and 10 seconds.
Right, this is it.
At the third stroke, the time
How are you feeling? I mean, that's incredible, isn't it?
Still thrilled. even more thrilled.
Oh, what an
Fantastic.
honour. The
Fantastic.
fifth permanent voice of the Speaking Clock. There you are.
Now, if you want to hear Alan's winning voice, not just here on the One Show, but you don't need to call the Speaking Clock. You can actually hear it on our website. We've put it up there as well.
Indeed.
Congratulations. Well done.
Yes, and well done, all three of you. Now, for those who stayed up to watch the results of the US election roll in, well, it was a hair-raising night.
Absolutely, and that suited Michael Douglas down to a T. So he went to the one place in the UK that he knew they'd be glued to their screens.
The US presidential elections have sent ripples around the globe, with two opposing ideologies matched by two very different haircuts. And where better to be on election night than here at the US Embassy, where I'll be snipping and styling into the wee small hours until we have a winner. Around 2,000 guests will watch this political drama unfold at an exclusive party. And the man who invited them all here, US Ambassador to the UK, Matthew Barzan, is getting ready in his private chambers. Presumably you've got a big speech to give tonight, is that right?
I do. And I have to be strictly nonpartisan, meaning I can't be Democrat or Republican.
Do you think we'll have a result by 4?
Gosh, I'm going to be out of the predicting business. It's just too hard to tell. So January 20th, President Obama will step down.
Yep.
The new president will be sworn in. And at that point, by tradition, those of us who are political appointees serving overseas will submit our resignations and head home.
Take a look. How's that?
Michael, thank you.
That's
what
all right,
a joy.
isn't it?
Yeah, how lucky am I? What a joy to see all of these wonderful faces here.
It's just after midnight and none of the 50 states has announced a result yet. Just looking around at the guests tonight, I think it's fair to say that even amongst some of the Republicans in the room, the support for Donald Trump is, well, shall we say lukewarm? However, I've managed to find one of his supporters, political commentator Charlie Wolf. I've seen hairstyles from all over the world, but nothing like the Trump.
It's not a mullet.
It's not a mullet. I don't even know what you could call it. You could only call it the Trump. So even after all the things he said and some of the lies and stuff like that he's come out with, you're still happy to support Donald Trump. Is that right?
I think he's going to be the guy to do the job. He just has a certain kind of a skill
And, you know, he's developed a movement. Donald is not stupid. I know people that have met him. I know people that know him, and people that I know and respect.
OK, Charlie,
Excellent.
let's get rid of this. There's a mirror. Take a look.
Oh, good. Let's see. Oh, fantastic.
You happy?
Excellent. Yes, thank you very much. You're fired. Go.
Well, not before I've done one more hairdo. As the first results come in, broadcaster and bona fide American Katie Puckrick has no doubts about the outcome.
Hillary Clinton is going to be our next president. There's going to be a woman in the White House. It's going to be great.
So you're a Hillary supporter?
Yes, yeah.
Presumably you want Hillary hair, yeah?
I don't really need the Hillary helmet.
What is it about Hillary that you like so much then? What's going on there?
She's the adult, and she's not going to, the world is not going to be blown to hell in a handbasket on her watch. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
What do the results say right there?
44 Clinton, 60 Trump.
Ah!
But there's still a long way to go tonight. To party your hair up a bit, I'm going to steal some of these ribbons and we're going to stick some in there. Let's show you the work,
Okay.
right?
Okay, let's
Okay,
see.
take a look. But around 4 in the morning, it starts to become clear which way the race is heading.
One congressional district gives him one more point, and he's crossed the line. It's very easy for him now.
Something is afoot.
Yeah.
I'm hoping for him to win.
Okay.
He's the guy I've been supporting, but even if he does win, I will be dumbstruck.
Florida's just been taken by Trump. How do you feel about that?
Very excited. We needed that, and we
Yeah.
wanted it, and we got it. It's surreal. I feel really dejected.
The atmosphere in this room has changed.
The atmosphere in the entire embassy has changed.
It was a party. Like
Yeah, it was a
2 hours
party.
ago.
It's a little bit of a wake right now.
The United States of America and the world is about to wake up to a new president.
Do you know, I thought the ambassador was looking very smart when I saw him on the
You
telly.
said earlier on, didn't
I did,
you?
yeah. Anyway,
And
that's
why.
all we've got time for tonight. John's book, We Chose to Speak of War and Strife, is out now. Remember, Watchdog is on at 8 o'clock as well. They're going undercover at Boots and Vision Express.
Yes, and that's it from us too for a while, because you're off on the road with Team Rickshaw.
There we go.
Keep warm, Matthew. I'll be back here tomorrow with RA of Strictly, and he'll be sitting here, and we'll be joined by Sir Cliff Richard. See you then. Bye.
Good night. Bye-bye.
There's only one Mr.